born in 1949, October 11th, in Goli, in Nebi, but grew in Pakwach the rest of my life until I was 17. When I left, came to Arua, training in Arua Teachers College. 4 years I spent there, grade 2 primary school teacher, finished in 1969. 1970, I shifted on my posting to Lira. I taught in Lira for 4 years, but I think my training in Arua was perfect because in 4 years, I was a classroom teacher, I was a deputy headmaster, I was a headmaster of a school in the town. Then I resigned. 74, I moved to Gulu, working under Bishop Janani Luwum to start with, and Bishop Benon Ogwal, when Jalani Luwum became the Archbishop. Then I was sent to Mukono to train to priesthood. So 4 years in Mukono, got my diploma, got ordained as a deacon 1979, again back to Arua. After 10 years exactly, 69, 79, I was back in Arua. In Arua, I worked with the youth department for the diocese and therefore generated our young people, brought them to church, great revival for 6 years. Then 87, moved to Nebi to take over the archdeaconry leadership of Nebi under the bishop, looking after priests in Nebi, again for 6 years, up to 1993. And in February 1993, I was elected the Bishop of Nebi, the very first Bishop of Nebi Church of Uganda. October 24th, 1993, I was made the Bishop of Nebi through to 2003. I was working in Nebi. And 2003, I was elected Archbishop Church of Uganda in July. And then January, the 25th of that following year, 2004, I was shifted to Namrembe as the Archbishop. And all this time, my heart is in West Nile. And all this time, even when I finished, I had to shift back to West Nile for reasons like when God puts you in a place, he knows why he puts you there. So my home in Pakwach, where I grew up, then I shifted to Goli. By 1992, I had a house there. That's where we live. To date, we live in Goli, very close to Democratic Republic of Congo border. My love for humanity started as a teacher. When I ordained ministry, the first assignment given to me was to look after young people. Now, if you invest in young people, you are investing in a bank that can never go bankrupt. Greater profit is in the young life because, as I speak now, the 6 years I was in Arua has produced leaders who are literally in Arua now. When I go to Arua today, I'm going to my former young people who are now very responsible people. Who are taking charge of the game. And they were influenced, and they never forget that. When I came to Kampala, my jurisdiction became national. I went to the west, I went to the east, I was in the central, I would go up north. My love for this country, again, makes me feel like I can't migrate away from Uganda. Because traveling Uganda, the way most people should do, you appreciate it better. And the problem with many Ugandans is they don't travel. If you travel in this country and you don't appreciate this country, your eyes are not working, your heart is a heart of stone. It's an amazing country. I love the people of Uganda. In my own experience, challenge number one is a return home of West Nileans who are living outside West Nile. If there is anything I really desire is to see our people who are investing outside West Nile coming home. There are people who have built homes outside the West Nile and they don't have even one at home. So when you go home with your friends, they show you this is a region of Professor so-and-so. You can hardly see a tile-roofed building in the area. You move up to a town like Pakwach, you move out to a town like Nebi, you go up to a town like Paida, you swing over to Arua. Arua has some activities going on. Go to Koboko, go to Yumbe, go to Moyo. They are marvelous sons and daughters of West Nile. Why haven't we considered investing in our own country, in our own part of the country? So that's my challenge number one to our West Nile. And the second challenge is related. Because educational heroes, successful personalities are not home, or young people are not influenced to a higher calling. Can you be like Israelis, for example? Yes. They always want to go back to Israel. Yes. Always. Could we make our West Nile a holy land for migration from outside back home? Yeah. Start from Pakwach up to Ajumani. Hospitality, number one. Yeah. Our people are very hospitable. And I'm talking about people who will receive people. Number two, a cross-section of our people are very hardworking. They could do better and get better returns, but they're committed. The only missing link is I would rather that men work alongside women. For now, it is only women. And because the men do not work, their children are not disciplined to work. You find children loitering around with potentials of land, growing grass. Animals should be looked after. We don't do them. We don't do them. And yet, this great thing about our hospitality and our hard work, there is also another thing that I have found in pioneers. Let me talk about James Nyakuni. When he wanted to invested in transport. And he set a standard that now other bus drivers are following. My dear friend came from West Nile. Yes. Taban Hydro, KKT. Yes. These two bus companies are ranking top in Uganda. And they're from West Nile. We must be proud of that, definitely. Tikodri, professor. Yes. He's a great guy. So we have got talented, gifted, endowed people by God. And these are ours, by the way. These are ours. We claim them. Even if they're still out there, they're ours. But the pioneers like James Nyakudi and Taban Hydro have really made us very proud. When you look at numerical number of believers in West Nile, we were being equated with Western Uganda, where the faith is a very serious thing. Yes. Our people love the church. They love the church. The thing I have as a contention with them is for them to step up to love the head of the church. It's one thing loving the church. Yes. It's another thing loving the head of the church. Let me give you an example. On Sundays, my friend, how many people go to church? Hundreds of thousands go to church. Yes. But from Monday to Saturday, how many walk according to the principle of the head of the church? So, if our faith could filter from our heads to our hearts, it will change our attitude completely. But we have seen from the beginning how much in education the church has contributed, how much in health you think about hospitals like Nile, Nyapea, Kuluva, Maracha. These are all church-founded medical facilities that have really helped people. The church has made a contribution. If we are letting the church down, it will be our generation, which is not influencing the next generation. And I think we should go back to our founding fathers and copy the examples. Because the region of West Nile, the fact that it's in English is not even a mistake. The only region in this country called in English is ours. The way it has actually helped us to work is that there is so much interrelationship within the tribal differences in our region. Talk about the Mada Jumani Moyo, talk about the Yumbe people, talk about the Kakwas, talk about the old sections of Logbara, come down to the other Madi here, Kolo and Yiribu, and then talk about the Alu, talk about the Lendu, talk about the Kebo. We have been in cohesion ever since. We've worked together. Now that is credit. Absolutely. But outside West Nile, people look down upon us because we give them the chance to look down upon us. If you don't blow your trumpet, somebody will not blow it for you.